Yo everyone, it's Clement. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm gonna be talking a little bit about the World League situation and how I'm doing so far. So, as you know, I played in the World League last Sunday, and for me it was quite a difficult day, I have to say. As you can see, I lost my first game 2-1 against Kapten, and then I had to play against Bulgaria Enjoyer in the losers matchup, and I lost 2-0. So ended up in the losers bracket and won against Finbarr, a pretty important game actually, because now that makes me at 8 points, and technically I think I still have a chance to qualify directly to the World Cup if I get 4 points at the last day. But the big thing is that I will also have a good chance of qualifying through the play-ins. I don't really know if there's been any official announcements or whatever, but from what I heard, I think us play-in players have a pretty good chance of qualifying. So um, yeah, I mean, definitely hope to do well my next day in the World League. Like the last day, I'm gonna give it all, and I'm also pretty excited to see what my bracket's gonna look like because, man, this bracket was not really fun. But I mean, to be fair, in Europe, you rarely have you always have some tough matchups. To be honest, it is very stacked, and yeah, even if I had won against Captain, I would have had to win against Consus to go to winners bracket, or I would have had second chance game against Stefan. So I mean, nothing particularly easy here, really. So yeah, what do I want to say? I want to also talk about yeah, the ranking. Like, of course, after the second day, I was like third tied, and then I only got 1 point pretty much for the. I mean, I only got 1 point for the last 2 weeks, which is pretty small. And yeah, now I'm barely like in the play-ins, but I should be able to keep my spot in the play-ins unless there's a major upset. And like, I guess I get 0 points, and both Stefan and Ralius get 4 points, but. Um, yeah, hopefully I can manage to avoid that situation, right? So, yeah, also an interesting fact, if you look at the stats, like, um, so of course Blinky has like a very high game win rate, and he has 67% of 4.5k plus guesses, and actually I somehow have a higher amount of 4.5k guesses than any players in the World League. So I mean, doesn't really mean much, to be honest, because it is very game dependent, but still I have to say it is quite impressive, and it is a bit unfortunate having that stat and being so far on the leaderboard. But I guess it does make sense with my gameplay, where I am usually rather consistent, and then I have some like hiccups, major hiccups, or like brain farts, and make a mistake, or I just don't get information. For example, in moving, that does happen. That's actually often how I lost during this day. But yeah, I'm gonna be giving you my thought process and like my strat during those playing those games. So hopefully you will find this interesting. Let's jump into the first game against Captain. We're gonna watch Gabriel Gio's stream. I mean the.
Ça a commencé, ça a commencé.
Okay, let's lower the sound, but yeah, I think he's the only. I didn't play on any official stream, I think, that day, so we're gonna have to find like my games on other streamers who happen to stream my games. But yeah, Gabriel usually follows my game as I'm half French, so that's pretty cool. At least that's an easy way of finding my games. But yeah, here we have a first round, which is kind of a random Bali round. I mean, we had Ubud, which is a kabupaten on Bali, or like a neighborhood. I don't actually really know, but yeah, we both kind of knew Ubud, and I guess I got lucky because I got the multiplier there going a bit more south. But yeah, I mean, this matchup against Kapten, I already played against him 2 weeks ago. I mean, in the World League terms, and it's usually just very close because we've learned like lots of similar things, and we have like a similar gameplay, I think, for moving, for example, not really bothering with pinpointing and stuff, but still having pretty good overall knowledge of all the moving aspects that you can learn, I guess. So yeah, here, for example, US area code, I didn't spot it immediately, I think, the 813, but Kapten had it pretty fast. 813 being, I think it's Tampa and a little bit more east, but it didn't really look like a huge city, so I guess we both kind of went outside of Tampa. And I got lucky twice in a row to get the multiplier, even though I didn't really make it significantly better, I guess, I suppose. But yeah, here we have another kind of boring Indo round. We both had the Kabupaten pretty fast. I think, it said Lombok and Lombok Tingara, I think, or something like Eastern Lombok. So I'm both gonna know that, and yeah, not really bothering with the pinpointing there. So again, taking another multiplier. We did have a lot of Indonesias and Malaysias. Here is the first Malaysia, but yeah, of a pretty big number. I don't really think I had much here. He had something. I think he had like Temerloh. Yeah, there. Temerloh is sizable city, like in the middle of Malaysia. So, but yeah, the problem in Malaysia and some Southeast Asian countries is that they like to kind of hide the labels of the cities. Like you have to zoom in so much to see them. Maybe Temerloh is one of them, but yeah, I guess I was kind of looking at the pulping there, trying to make sense of what we had. For example, we had 3 lines of text, we had blue and white paint, and we had the light bulb. So there's a number of places that this couldn't be. Like usually, I would say you wouldn't have that combo of thing elements on the pull sticker like more north. At least not Kedah Perak really, but and if we would have had 2 lines, then I probably would have went Malacca. But since we had 3, I didn't really think it would be Malacca. So I guess Pahang made sense, but maybe it could have been like random Terengganu or Kelantan, but that's like very difficult to get there, I think, without proper car meta or like courage vibe or something. Why did I because okay, now I know. Okay, next round we were in France, so this was an interesting round. So immediately it was kind of red pavement, I think you can tell. So that makes sense, of course, for the Dijon area. And it's at Cluny. Cluny is like a pretty unknown place probably for most people, but for French people it's quite known because it's home to one of the what should I say, like most popular monasteries in France or something like this, like Abbatiale de Cluny. So it's like kind of a big monument, I guess, in France. So I had definitely heard of Cluny. I just wasn't really sure exactly where it was, but I found it quite quickly. I think I also had the 74 area code, so that kind of helped a bit. But yeah, I think Kapten kind of had an area code, and that's about it. And he was decently close. I mean, it was still some points because it was a bit more southeast, but yeah. Then we had a straight around. I think we both immediately kind of got the wow vibe with the dark blue car, the yellow signpost. I don't know what did he have? Why did he zoom in so fast? Kind of curious. He just saw the town name and he assumed he could find it maybe. Like, I mean, there's not that many sizable towns in Roa, but the thing is, I really thought it would be close to Perth because it looked like kind of a more older town or something. Like it didn't look like it would be far inland, but yeah, he had some good signs also eventually, and I also got some, but it was a little bit late. But I kind of trolled the scanning. I mostly scanned near Perth on that round, and probably at least could have zoomed out a bit and like seen that the place is actually quite noticeable even at this level. Like it's right here, and Northam, the other town there, is also pretty big. Like I just had to look a bit outside of the Perth region, but to be honest, I think the zoom level is maybe wrong. maybe I was a bit more zoomed and I couldn't actually see 2J, but whatever. This round was pretty boring. We had like Williston and Carnarvon, which is the most massive places in Western Cape, I think, or Northern Cape. I'm not really sure, but yeah, both are cities I think most pros are gonna know. But Kapten kind of trolled this one. I think he conflated Carnarvon and what's the other place? Calvinia. I think he conflated both cities and guessed between Calvinia and Williston instead of yeah, exactly, instead of Carnarvon and Williston. So, but yeah, I found it pretty fast. At this point, I had a pretty nice lead. Like the game was going well. I had good multipliers. I mean, he also had some. He had like 2.5x. I think I had 1, 2, 3, 3.5. Yeah, 3.5. I think so. Yeah, I mean, pretty even. Let's be real. But I had a good health lead. Let's say. Yeah, this was not the best round really. We had a road number, which, to be honest, the national roads in Thailand, when you can actually read a bit of Thai, they might be worse than the provincial roads. I don't really think there's much logic to them. Like you kind of have to scan the whole region if you don't really have a region guess. So yeah, to be fair, I was scanning maybe too far north. Like I spent a bit of time scanning Chiang Rai and stuff. Like it was not gonna be there, I think. But yeah, not really the best round. But I mean, we both know like Thai abbreviations more or less. I think maybe Kapten knows a bit more than me. I don't know. But so yeah, I guess it could have went either way. And yeah, he got the multi. Here we had Nyeri province, but yeah, we also had some indications for smaller towns, and we both kind of just tried to find them. But I'm just gonna skip because it's not really interesting, to be honest. It was max southeast. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't really know. Maybe could have used the terrain there to line up better, but not very easy, I think, in that part of Kenya. He immediately knew this random Slovak town, which is kind of interesting, kind of crazy. Betsinok or something, and Betsnok. And like I didn't really have anything. The only thing I had was, yeah, I guess I kind of, maybe it said .sk there or something, but I kind of had the Slovak vibe anyways. But and yeah, I decided to go close to Bratislava just because it was a divided road and there was a bunch of cars around, so that was quite lucky, but also I guess at least like a good save. But yeah, very very strong knowledge by Kapten there. Another Malaysia round. I think was this like the Gerantut round or something. Yeah, I think I had a sign that said Gerantut. Not really sure what Kapten had because he guessed Kuala Lipis or something. Wait, is it Kuala Lipis? Or what's the city? I can't see. What's the city he guessed? Kuala Lipis, yeah. And yeah, I was a bit closer because yeah, I guess it said Gerantut, which is a city right where I guess, but there's a lot of like small communities which include in a way like the name of the bigger city, but they might sometimes be even like 50 kilometers away. So yeah, not very easy to find because you have to scan at maximum level to find these towns. Here we were in Mexico, so we had a postal code which was 90. Here we can see it well. Postal code you can see here, and if you learn them, they are very good, to be honest. Like the second best thing I think behind area codes, but area codes are so tedious and hard to remember that it's definitely more worth it to start with postal codes. And postal code 90 is a state specific one. I think it's Tlaxcala, and we had a town that was called Tlaxco. So given the size of the town and the size of Tlaxcala, I probably should have just scanned for Tlaxco because there's only going to be so many towns in Tlaxcala. But instead, I wanted to find an area code, even though I completely don't know the the area codes in that region of Mexico. So I don't really know why I do that, but it's just because I like to take my time on most rounds, I guess. Yeah, don't push myself too much. But yeah, I found Lascaux, and yeah, good that I opened the map with 10, like at least 10 seconds in order to have time to look for the town and found it. But yeah, I think me and Kapten are both kind of similar in that way. Like we like to take our time and don't really push each other or push ourselves or whatever. So yeah, it's kind of long games. I mean, long rounds usually, unless we spot some quick info like the Slovakia round, for example, where he probably knew I wasn't gonna know it. So yeah, Vietnam round not very fun. I mean, it's mostly about just finding the province name, and you have addresses everywhere with the provinces. But it's also you also need to, again, this is another case of like a Southeast Asian country that's annoying with the labels because they just decided it was a great idea to merge like half their regions basically. So you have on signs on addresses regions that aren't like on the map. So you have to learn by heart the position of half of the region, and the other half is still there. So that's it's I don't know if you see what I mean, but it's a bit hard basically to remember all these things. Um, so yeah, it's not really the kind of thing I like to learn, to be honest. But yeah, he got the info, and I guess I mean, we both had Hoa Binh there, and I was a bit more slow with finding again where Hoa Binh was, and he found the smaller town within that district, so within that province. Here we had the Mexico round, and with the black car and dry coverage like this, I think we both were gonna know that this would be Sonora or Baja California. Maybe it felt quite northern. Now this is an interesting round. We both had the info of the town name, which is Pitiquino or something like that, and yeah, it's said on the stadium Pitiquito. And yeah, I mean, it being Sonora and it looked like a fairly big town, I immediately wanted to scan for it, and I thought it would be quite findable. But yeah, I didn't really scan the right areas. I immediately got the kind of the coastal vibe with the palms and stuff. Like there's quite a few palms eventually all around, which you don't really get as many, and it doesn't look as dry if you are more inland in Sonora. It's more mountainous. It's more yeah, there's more trees just in general. But instead of like trying to scan the coast, I saw mountains. Like here, for example, there's south, but I think I also saw mountains west. So I kind of thought it wouldn't be. Here, there's also mountains east actually. So it is somewhat mountainous. It's just not as mountainous as inland Sonora, is what I wanted to say before. But yeah, that made me not scan the coast. The fact we did have some mountains, but yeah, I'm just trying to cope right now because I'm a bit annoyed. I didn't find this round because it was quite a findable town, but you would have to be quite zoomed in because it was like a smaller town next to a bigger one. So yeah, not really easy. But of course, Captain, like chances are he could have found it easily as well. So like yeah, I guess we're just both lucky that none of us two found this town. To be honest, yeah, another Southeast Asian country, another Thailand. That's the second one this game. This was a really bad round. I think I was kind of losing it a bit after the Mexico round. He tried to guess fast based on like an address with the Changwat, the province in Thai, but I think he didn't read it right anyways. But here I had good signs, and somehow yeah, it said Nakhon Sawan south, I think. Wait, no, Nakhon Sawan is north and Singburi is south, and somehow I guess south of Singburi. Make it make sense. Like I don't know what I was doing, and yeah, this was poorly played by me. But I mean, I didn't really lose many points. Like it's mostly a mental thing at this point because we both have high multis. Turkey round, we're both pretty knowledgeable about Belediyesis, so realistically, if we spend more than 30 seconds, like we can just assume on this round that the opponent's gonna have a Belediesi or something, and I think I got it quite fast. I got it before, like, yeah. Here it said Hinis. Hinis is a sizable town. I wasn't exactly sure at first where it was, but I found it quickly again. But yeah, definitely assumed he would probably get it eventually, but sometimes maybe if he gets it last second, he might struggle to find it again or something. So I still decided to insta-guess because yeah, I thought maybe he would. I could get the multiplier there, but and get some damage. But no, he got a good region guess within the city. Makes sense here. We had a Germany round, so Germany just gonna go for Landkreise, obviously, and the town entry signs, which are everywhere. Landkreise, there's like 300 something of them, so it's quite a big thing to learn, and I don't really know all of them super well, but I would think I know probably a good majority and maybe even more. But yeah, it's mostly most of them are bigger cities, so it's places. If you live in Germany or if you are like close to Germany, it's probably places you might know a lot of them. So yeah, it's much nicer than learning provinces in Vietnam which don't exist, right? That's not really the same, but yeah, still there's 300 of them, so it's quite a big work, and you have to rehearse it pretty often. But yeah, here we both knew Bitburg Prim Landkreise. But yeah, trying to find a smaller town there to get the multiplier, even though it doesn't matter too much. Like, it was not going to be a game ender here, obviously, with both of us having the Landkreise. In France round, so I was feeling quite lucky with the second France already, but yeah, it was Narbonne, which is a pretty big city. He missed the info the first time, but he eventually got back and found the same sign as I did, and he knew Narbonne, so wasn't gonna be able to do much there unless he missed that sign. So, and even then, he probably would have went fairly close, I think. So again, like a round that doesn't really matter much, and now we already are at round 20. So the last possible round, because yeah, that's the round limit thing. So yeah, this round looks quite a lot like Austria, I have to say, and it is no car. But he looks at a random like advertisement or something on like a building, and it had an address, and I think I'm not really sure what it said, but it was actually Landkreis. It was Germany. It was like maybe Kempten or Oberalgo or Algau or something like that, which is unfortunate because we with the fact that we have no car, there's kind of winter coverage. It's deep mountains, and it looks like this. Like, I don't know. That's difficult to not go Austria here. I feel like maybe we had some metas for Germany. We probably did, and feel free to tell me if I missed something. But like, yeah, that's kind of unfortunate because you can see I had a little bit of lead. If I did have like the same kind of info, I probably could have won on this round. Given that, yeah, it wasn't big enough of a Landkreis probably to make a change, I think. But that's how it is sometimes in moving, and that's like, yeah, that's mostly the problem I have with moving. Is like, yeah, sometimes you don't get the same information as your opponent, so gotta feel a bit. It feels a bit bad, but yeah, that's how it is. But at least, yeah, I knew I had a new chance here in the move. I think in general I feel pretty confident against most people in no move. I feel like it's the mode I like. I'm actually quite consistent at. Like, I usually don't make mistakes that much, and yeah, at least compared to most players. Like, yeah, of course I make mistakes, but yeah, not too many. So yeah, all of this to say that I could still turn the game around. Here we had very green coverage with lots of rubber trees, I think, like the trees on Kapten screen. And we had blue car. And blue car in Thailand is not a very common car meta. And to my knowledge, I think you would mostly have that in the area where I am right now, like Nakhon Phanom, Buenkang. And then for some reason I decided to hedge because I was kind of scared to commit. But yeah, I don't know. Sometimes you should just trust like the vibe and the knowledge. Like there's a reason why we know these car meters because they work most of the time. But yeah, I mean it's difficult to commit something in Thailand. Of course, it's such a like it's so many places in Thailand can look so similar, and especially rubber tree plantations. Like yeah, that's I guess that's why. Here we had a pretty unique road in Mongolia with very fresh pavement and kind of overcast. So that's just like the Chingis road, I think. Yeah, oh no, it's the Barunot road. No, man. Like between Chingis and Barunot, we have the new pavement. But yeah, managed to get two multipliers already in a row. And now we got Philly. We have this unique Philippines car. Like this car. Okay, did we? Yeah, okay. Where you have like black. It's a mostly black car, but then you have the brake light and you have a white stripe on either side of the brake light. That car is actually only found in Philly. It's different from the usual black car that you'll get in Malaysia, Indonesia, Argentina. That car is only black. You won't have the white stripe. So this car is pretty useful. Sometimes you have rounds that are difficult in Gen 3 where you see this car, you just know you are in Philippines. And if you are a really big fan of car metas, then you can even use this car to region guess Philippines. I know it's people who have made research about where you find this car. Yeah, maybe you can find that on Plunkett. I'm not really sure. But either way, that's not something I know. I'm not very good at Philippines, and most people probably don't really know that car that well. But yeah, this was just like a super flat rice field round. So um, north of Manila is the basic guess probably. You have the kind of round. I feel like you have this in every game for some reason, like South Cali. Don't really know why, but here, why was it South Cali? I mean, we had houses on stilts, very, very flat landscape. If you see, I think we were zoomed into that direction at some point, but yeah, here. If you look here, it's super flat, it's rice fields, but no tiles. We have an uneven pole with a longer support. It's difficult to see at that angle, but and yeah, and we have the chipped roof. All these things are things Salex mentioned in the Indonesia video I made with him, but yeah, I feel like I can still repeat them. Because South Cali is very important to be able to get, like, for some reason, I feel like I see South Cali all the time, literally in every game. But yeah, this was Northern South Cali. Maybe there's something to region guess more with like the architecture or whatnot, so I don't really know, but it was a fine guess either way. Here we had some corn. We have lots of eucalyptus trees and not really many palms. And yeah, it just looks like Bangladesh. I think most people can tell it's just super flat rice fields, polluted kind of sky. Maybe a bit difficult to see, but yeah, hazy, polluted kind of sky, I guess. So yeah. Yeah, with the lack of palms and tropical vegetation, with the fact that it looks more like dry northern, well then it's north. That makes sense. But yeah, also the corn is something you get often near the border with India, so in Dinaipur and stuff, but also more south in like Jenaida, which is more tropical. That's why I guess in India eventually. But yeah, it was actually in the Mymensingh, I think. But yeah, just quite far north. Okay, here we had the Denmark round. This round was an interesting round because we had quite a bit of landscape. Could see that we were probably going to be on an island and we were looking at other islands. So I was immediately thinking about the area south of Fyn, which is the middle island in Denmark, and there's this island called Ærø where I've been once actually, only once, but you can see from Ærø lots of smaller islands to the north basically, and the only other place I could think about was like south of Sjælland, where you can look at these kind of islands there that I'm zooming into, but it didn't really make sense. So I thought, yeah, Elway would probably be the only place that would make sense here overall. So I ended up guessing there. Because I feel like in most places where you are actually in a more open sea, like the coastline is going to look a bit different from this. It's not going to be as rolling and open farmland. Like it's going to be different than this. For example, if you're on the west coast or like the north of Jutland and stuff. So yeah, eventually made a good guess there. It was nice. Don't know why Gabriel was switching there, but here we had a pretty easy Russia region guess for like experienced players. I would say we had the very B antenna. It's not always easy to tell very B from B, but usually how most people tell that, also like confirm that, is by the lack of smudges. Like if you have B type antenna, you don't have smudges, and it doesn't look like Moscow, then you probably have a very B type of antenna. So that's how you can recognize it. But yeah, I'm saying without Moscow because Moscow can have B type no smudges, I think. So yeah, and it just looks very, I mean, to be honest, it just looks like Cheria, right? This kind of pavement, super like sandy pavement and kind of shitty as well. And the birch tree rows and kind of flat landscape. It looks like Chelyabinsk, but with short antenna, you go Kurgan. So yeah, lots of good clues there, but was not gonna be around any pro player was gonna miss. So yeah, not really many points at all. Next round was Argentina, and was white card 25. I don't really think that means much, but it took me some time looking around before I noticed that on this random sign we actually had an American. Now here I think it's actually possible to see 343, which area codes in Argentina are really good. Like it's one of the best things to know, especially for moving. Like for no move, not as much really, but for moving, if you want to be decent at Argentina, you absolutely need area codes. There's not that many actually, but it's just kind of annoying to learn because it's not a good. There's not a good system for it. It's kind of random how they put their area codes. But yeah, I would say for me it took me like maybe 3 iterations before I knew them well. So it was a bit more difficult than Brazil, for example, which is at least quite straightforward. Usually with like the biggest city being 1, second biggest being 2, or like some states have like combined like the same first digit or whatever. But yeah, he didn't see that. Like you would have to like spot it, like look quite well into the poster thing. So yeah, that was a nice spot. I'm not always very good at spotting these things, especially in moving, as you could see on the Germany round. But yeah, here another Malaysia round. So it's kind of annoying. He wants to look at both games, but yeah, I mean this round was kind of a rubber tree plantation round, so it's kind of fair. But it's actually not rubber trees; it's more mountains and a little bit more open. But yeah, I guess I could kind of see. I think I could kind of see a sticker at some point with lots of text. I don't know. Was it this one? Probably not this one, but but the more north you go in Malaysia, the more lines you'll have on stickers, like the black stickers. So yeah, all these methods are kind of on the zigzag dock if you want to learn more about Malaysia. But yeah, I actually won this game like this, so that was quite a boring way of winning. But at least I played consistently throughout the whole no move. Didn't really make mistakes and played well. But yeah, also the fact we had like a pretty big ridge jutting out makes quite a lot of sense for like Kedah, Paris area, I guess. But yeah, next game was an MPZ. Starting in Monty here with Gen 3 B-type guardrail and these mountains. Not really much happening there. Then we had this round. It was a little bit of a random round. It looked broadly like Germany. I think it was 20, maybe it was 24 actually. I'm not sure if it was 23 or 24, but I immediately thought it kind of looked like Denmark a bit, but then I ended up hedging more like central west within Germany, but it actually was north of Hamburg, which can look a lot like that. Like often you have hedgerows and like more forest kind of environment, I guess, around there. So yeah, it can be a kind of interesting area sometimes. But yeah, here kind of a basic southern Vietnam round. I think we had a useful pole here with the triangle attachment, but also just in general, it felt quite southern with like the spammed, like the small houses, small gardens, and agriculture, canals, all that. And then yeah, this round, for some reason, I thought it was strange. I thought it looked strange. It looked like Italy at first. You have a yellow house, and I don't know, the small cam also, it made sense for Italy, but I also thought it could be Bosnia. And then I looked at the house, and I think I confused the roof, like the solar panels. I thought it was a metal roof, so that's why I wanted to go Bosnia. um, and I also thought these pine trees were strange for Italy, but they're just very southern Italian pines, I guess. Um, yeah, that's a bit of an unfortunate round. I think. I mean, I played it poorly, but I could have. I think I could have cooked this one a bit better. Like, I also thought the landscape looked weird. Like I couldn't tell where it would be if it was Italy, so that's why I liked Bosnia a bit more. But yeah, I feel like the yellow house with solar panels and overall, yeah, maybe it makes more sense for Italy. I guess was it I don't know if it's a wooden pole or like a concrete pole, but either way, it probably made more sense for Italy. You probably would have some sort of concrete thing to stabilize it in Bosnia and much of Eastern Europe. Mm. This round was something. um, Not really sure why at first I was in Europe. It does look quite tropical, but yeah, I did end up going for Mexico, and he was also in Mexico, but it was Philippines, and I don't really think there's much to do here. Like, it's just kind of dry and free, and it looks kind of, yeah, it looks like um, mix between jungly and savanna climate, I guess. Hard to really say, but yeah, not really a very gettable round there. Then another Malaysia for a change, and this one looked a bit more flat than the previous ones, like a bit rolling and stuff, but not too hilly. And yeah, it was Malacca. And yeah, then we had this round. And so this round is interesting. We had dark blue car. We had 25 carpi, and it looked kind of dry. It had eucalyptus trees, but also we had these weird plants, like weird big grass clumps. I'm not really sure what they are called, but so these things didn't make sense for me. Like I thought these grass clumps, as I call them, are more New Zealand's. Like, I don't think I've ever really seen them in Australia, but the rest of the round looked super dry, and it was dark blue 25. So I was confused because I think dark blue 25 can be either Australia or New Zealand, of course, but I feel like it's more common in Australia, which is why I considered going Wa here. Um, yeah, I mean we were both debating kind of the same things. I think he was also between Wa and New Zealand and Australia in general. But yeah, I ended up going Wa here, making a pretty poor choice given the size of the road, the plants and stuff, and honestly, I feel kind of bad about this guess, but yeah, that does happen. It's sometimes under pressure you just don't make the right decisions, and this definitely was a bad one. Like I immediately knew that was yeah that was just a bad decision. Like the chances that this was gonna be Wa and that one of us would get it correctly were so small. Like I feel like any reasonable person would just hedge this one. If they think it's Australia, they would just hedge in Victoria or something. So like if I wanted to commit something, maybe New Zealand would have been the more judicious thing to commit. That's what I want to say, but yeah, it's mostly coping. But hopefully I'm gonna be able to make smarter decisions if these kind of things, I mean, when these kind of things happen in the future. Here we had a Sierra pole, like with the uneven Sao Paulo kind of pulled up, but without supports. So yeah, unique pole to Sierra. We both got it right. And yeah, this round, pretty difficult round, like just a random dirt road and jungly landscape. I immediately thought it looked like West Cali or something. Like I didn't really know, but that's what I thought with like the tropical vibe overall, and the narrow road as well. But it did look a bit weird. Like the soil was a bit like it was like very sandy, very white, almost a bit pink kind of soil. I feel like Kalimantan is just more rocky often. Doesn't really look like this, so I knew I was probably wrong, but I couldn't really put a pin on what other things it could be. So I just stayed in Kelly and lost by going Kelly on Yucatan, and Kapten had the right vibe immediately, and he even guessed. Yeah, he guessed before the end, so I think he was confident. I mean, he definitely was confident. So props to him for getting that. But yeah, to be honest, yeah, the soil color was strange, and definitely the grass stripe in the middle of the road. I don't think I've ever seen that in Asia, to be honest, or rarely, but it doesn't look like this, I think. But yeah, it's just more common in Latin America, I guess. And yeah, overall the vibe did make sense for Yucatan. So unfortunate loss there. I think I played really well that game. Like the moving is unfortunate. The NMPZ is also unfortunate. Like I think it could have went either way, both of them. But Kapten happened to win. Like props to him. And GG's. I mean, yeah. What can I say? It was just a very close game, and there has to be a winner. So we're gonna watch the next game immediately, which was the loser bracket game against. The loser matchup game, I should say, against Bulgaria Enjoyer. And I think the only person who actually streamed this is Amir. So we're gonna watch Amir's stream. Alright, so here's my game against Bulgaria Enjoyer, and unfortunately Amir only started streaming at the point where I had 1600 health left, so I'm looking pretty grim there after 3 rounds. I think there was a Malaysia round where I didn't have information and lost 2500 points, and before that there was something else. Like I definitely didn't play very well at the beginning, but I also got a bit unlucky on the Malaysia. But yeah, at that point I have 1600 health and trying to make a comeback still, because I hate to lose the first, like the moving round. So yeah. Here we have a US. I had pretty good info. I had 940 area code, and I also had good national roads by now. So, and I think I had the Jacksboro information as well. Kind of had enough there to make a good guess. To quickly find the 5K, I have to say. But Bulgaria Enjoyer had a Fort Worth area code, I think like 813. So it's a bit interesting. I guess it's on the border, like kind of 940 and 813, but yeah.
Nice.
It was like the beginning of the comeback. Mild comeback. But yeah, here we didn't really have anything. We had like one random road number, like provincial road 19, and it looked like La Pampa, I guess. At least that's what I thought. So I thought I could maybe find the road if I scanned enough. But yeah, it's just like really tiny roads and not really easy to know where you should scan, I suppose. So yeah, didn't find anything. And Bulgaria Enjoyer was actually quite a bit more south, so with a higher multi there, that could have been huge points. But yeah, I still needed to climb the multiplier ladder. Here I had good signs, especially I had Lavalle, and it's Argentina again. Like so much Argentina as well. Lavalle is a pretty big city, and I knew I had heard about it, but I wasn't sure about where. So after I had spent a couple seconds trying to scan, I also tried to move a bit around to get like a better idea of the region guess and all of that. And I found it like last second. I just go back because yeah, like I put my pin literally on Lavalle, I think now. Yeah, and then I saw it last second, and I guess like a bit more west, like in the mountains. Lavalle is here, so it's like more in a flat area, and yeah, that was good. Bulgaria Enjoyer didn't find Lavalle either, but I don't think they had the info. But yeah, this was really bad. So here I read from this point, like prefecture office Matsusaka branch, and somehow I didn't see Mie, even though it's like the beginning, and it makes sense. It's prefecture. Like, why do I read prefecture and not read the first part? Like, that would make sense, but no, I didn't do that. And then I went for an area code, and I don't know if I got one. I think maybe I did, but I didn't remember them, to be honest, so didn't help too much. I mean, I still hedged a bit for Mie, but yeah, this round I should have gotten like a good guess. I should have seen the Mie thing and found the city because it was quite big. But yeah, that's just me like not paying enough attention, I think, when looking for information in moving. Like I'm not very good at finding the info. I'm just good at using it, I guess. But yeah. Here we had an interesting US round. It was actually a town I knew somehow. So first trying to move, it looks quite western, of course, with the mountains, but it said the Dales High School, and the Dales is actually one of the cities I learned somehow in Oregon, and I was kind of hoping for something big to happen here somehow. Like I thought maybe Bulgaria Enjoyer could have went Utah or something, and I could have just won on this, but then I see. Like, I mean, there's plates around, there's good architecture, there's a bit of everything, so they got Oregon eventually, and yeah, weren't too far away even, so yeah, but I did pull a pretty good comeback right now. I'm only like 800 points behind, and now we have a BC round with some very small towns, like yeah, town signs there. So yeah, I kind of had a good region guess of Vancouver Island, I guess. I mean, it does look very Vancouver Island with like the, I don't know, it looks very lush, right? I mean, it is Canada, it looks very lush. We have lots of spruce trees or like pine trees and whatnot, like really big pine trees. It looks very west coast, so like going Vancouver Island makes a lot of sense, and it looks a bit more out there, you know. It doesn't look like close to Victoria or close to like the big cities of Vancouver Island, so I immediately scanned very north for those towns and found them quite fast. And tried to line up the bridge at the end. Didn't manage to do that, but managed to get the lead again. And yeah, the multiplier as well. Then we had our last round, which was quite unfortunate. So actually here we both thought that there wasn't any information, but if you look here, it's difficult to see, but I think it says province of Dinagat or something. I think so. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, I didn't bother to read that like pin thing, but I definitely should have, because often they do have information on them. It's just whether you can read them or not. But yeah, and then I zoomed right through the information here because Bulgaria Enjoyer only clicked like twice and got to a good sign which said directly Dinagat and like the town Libyo. And Dinagat is something like, if you don't see it on a sign, like how are you ever gonna think about it? Like, are there even metas for Dinagat? I don't know. If you're good at Philippines, feel free to tell me, because yeah, I mean, I'm just bad at Philippines, of course, but yeah. just missing this kind of information is very unfortunate. Like there's nothing you're gonna do, and yeah, with 1,000 health, there's no surviving this. Even with 4,000 health, there's no surviving this on this kind of multiplier. So yeah, that's how I lost, and I got pretty annoyed because I mean maybe I was pulling a bit of a merchant, but still I feel like I played well on the later rounds. Like I made good choices and were able to guess fast and all of this. So yeah, it's unfortunate because it's the same thing basically that happened against Kapten. Like also exactly the same actually. I was like slightly in the lead, like nearing. I mean this is not the end, but like nearing like not really the end, but at high multipliers, and yeah, just losing to a round where I don't have information, where I feel like I just don't even have a chance. And yeah, I mean, as I said before, rounds like this are gonna happen in GeoGuessr, so it's part of the game. But like losing twice like this, the same day is just, yeah, it's painful. But yeah, no move. First round, the trees and like the landscape just reminded me a lot of Victoria and being a little. Yeah, I also think we had like a big, like a specific plant maybe. Yeah, this like the big ferns. I feel like they look quite Victorian potentially, but not really sure about that. Here I just looked at the Dinagat Island for not really much of a reason, but yeah. Got the multi there, round one. Then there was an issue on this round, I think. Yeah, game is under review. I think Bulgaria Enjoyer had an issue, but yeah, we got back to the game pretty fast. This round was quite stupid by me. So we had a bollard with a K. I can show you again. Like a bollard with a K. Now I like to think that these bollards with letters are found more in the west of the country. And that's why I thought Kayseri. I mean that's kind of the middle of the country, but still. I didn't think about cars at all. Also the fact, like, yeah, we couldn't immediately see big mountains near us. I feel like that, I mean, that doesn't happen everywhere in cars, but it can happen for sure. But then, yeah, the fact we had truck coverage is probably more cars than Kayseri, actually. And yeah, it's probably the province starting with K that makes the most sense as well. So yeah, this was just pretty poor guess by me. Like I think I could have gotten this. Like yeah, but I mean props to Bulgaria Enjoyer for getting it because they were also considering like more west, but yeah. And then yeah, this round was like one of my worst guesses in a good while. Like I don't know, I thought we had maybe coastal looking trees and it looked a bit dry, so I thought why not try Mombasa. But yeah, it was just next to Nairobi and lost almost all my health like this. All of my remaining health. Then we had a France, at least I thought like maybe I can try to lock in and make an actual decent yes. Okay, it's actually annoying, there's a lot of sun, but yeah, make a decent guess for once, and I actually did make an okay guess in France. But then a Brazil round, I thought the pole, like with the, can we see it well? I don't really think I ever looked into the pole that much. But yeah, I can't really see. I just thought it looked more like Rio, to be honest. Like Sao Paulo, I feel like near the coast, maybe the roads are a bit more developed. I don't know. I mean, that's not really true actually for all of Sao Paulo. But yeah, I got more of a Rio vibe overall. Yeah, it just looked quite tropical and it felt a bit coastal as well. Yeah, it was a bit towards Sao Paulo, to be fair. But yeah, I mean, I still had, even then, like I made two terrible guesses and I still had a good chance of coming back. Because now it's Philly and like, never know what's gonna happen in Philly. But I did have kind of a Cebu vibe with the white soil, like the rocky
white soil and pretty tropical vibe. So yeah, only a 1,000 point differential now. We have a US round with very interesting pink soil and black car. That's just I feel like that's quite common in southern Wyoming, Utah, Colorado border region. Um, so yeah, we both kind of got the same vibe and guessed rather similar places. And I lost the multiplier here, and yeah, that multiplier I think is actually gonna matter a lot on this round. Um, so it does look quite southern within Chile, but I just thought it looked like a big city. It looked like a hilly big city, so I thought like Puerto Montt or Osorno made sense, for example. Um, to be fair, maybe we did have 25 more. Yeah, we did have more for summer coverage actually, more than winter. Summer coverage is actually a good meta for Chiloé Island, and they got the vibe for Chiloé Island quite like immediately, and were like scanning the cities there. While I was kind of clueless, yeah, as you know, Chile is not really one of my strong countries, so it's not really surprising. I don't really know these kind of rounds, but yeah, and they actually got the right city there, so that was pretty impressive. Like, um, I was really pissed. Like, I didn't really. I was mostly like just pissed at myself because I didn't play well. Like the no move, I could have easily come like made a good comeback, win the no move, and gotten to an MPZ. And all right, guys. So I have finally found my game against Finbarr. So we're gonna react to it from directly from his channel. So shout out Finbarr. So shout out his channel. Feel free to subscribe, of course, if you're not. But I just assume most people are. Um, yeah, first round not too interesting there. I mean, I just insta send check here because yeah, wasn't really gonna do much. I think there. Now here we have a Philly round, and I was just hoping to have at least some kind of information there, unlike the last few Philly rounds I've had. But um, yeah, I did have Negros something, I think, and yeah, he also had the info there closer to spawn. Again, on a sign I didn't like take the time to read properly, and yeah, he actually got the 5k there, so he has 2x multiplier now. So was beginning to get a bit annoyed, like trying to get multipliers my side at least. But yeah, this round I immediately got the Manitoba vibe with the deep fall courage and the black car, like both things, and 25 copyright. Like all of that just made a lot of sense for Manitoba in my mind. Mm, and I think also the plate was Manitoba. But yeah, I didn't know the places we had on the signs, so I didn't scan immediately. I wanted to try and get better info, but then with like 10 seconds left, I began scanning and I found um, Nelson House 170, which was quite nice. Was very far north in Manitoba, so a lot of points there. Actually, 2,000 points, even though he went pretty close, like basically southern Manitoba. So yeah, nice round three. On this round, immediately with the coverage, like the fact that it's in Gen 3, even though it's like a pretty big main road, is something that's super common in Popayan. And the second thing we have here is white car with the antenna. So like both these things together, it's just not gonna be many areas in Colombia that are gonna have this. So Popayan is one of the main areas that's like this. And that's like a really good meta for Popayan, otherwise not very easy to get. But I mean, yeah, the fact that it's a big road and in Gen 3 is already all you need, I think, to get Popayan on these kind of rounds. But I did have the info, like, I did have a town. I mean, I think I watched Finbar's video and apparently the sign I had said, like, everything. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I did have a road number, but it was kind of weird. I guess 29 maybe or something. But I had Piendamo and I recognized that town. I think it's something I've seen before. It's just a town north of Popayan. So yeah, that was quite another nice round there. And I mean, I we could tell that Finbarr was maybe a bit like not too locked in at this point of the day, so that definitely also helped a bit, I think, for this matchup. But yeah, he ever had a Ukraine round, and he read Kremenchuk there. He read the address, I think. He did say Kremenchuk, and yeah, lined up the 5K as well. I didn't have anything. I was basically just. I want to know how he reached the main road. Like he just. Like, oh my god. Did I just like click away from the main road? Because I feel like at the spawn we're basically on the main road and I don't go for it somehow. Like, yeah, I don't know. Or maybe I try. I think I tried to go for the main road and I didn't get there, and then I just got lost in like the maze of the neighborhood that we were in. And then I tried to look around and make like a vibe guess, I suppose, and I thought it just kind of looked average. To me, it looked a bit more dry than Kiev, but also didn't really look like Kharkiv. In Kharkiv, maybe you would have more red brick. Also, didn't really look too south. So I just went Kremenchuk like based on nothing, I guess, and somehow it was there. So I actually couldn't believe it because I mean Kremenchuk is not even like it's not even that big of a town. Like when you think about it, there's probably like 5 or 7 towns around it, like cities that are bigger that maybe are more likely to happen, like Dnipro, Kharkiv, Melitopol, what's it called, Zaporizhia, all these towns. So yeah, I was quite happy. I mean, was quite lucky mostly, I guess. And here apparently Finbarr had like a sign with Cyrillic, so I think that's why he. I mean, that's definitely why he considered more east there in Estonia, and I didn't really have anything at all. Um, at first, I thought he just vibe guessed that, like, because I really saw nothing on this round, but yeah, apparently he did have Cyrillic. Um, this one, I don't really think any of us got anything, even though we went different directions. But we did have front plates, and it looked kind of southern. Like I don't think you would go New York here, for example. Yeah. So yeah, Virginia made the most sense, I think. For all this in mind, also the houses didn't look too northern, like the trees and stuff. But we kind of had big ridges of hills, I guess, in both directions. So it looked like we were gonna be like in this kind of more western part of Virginia where you have those narrow valleys. To be fair, I kind of guessed in the mountains, but that was my idea at least. But yeah, that was a nice guess with no info. And then we had a Canada round. Finbarr had good signs quite fast, but I also had very good signs after, so it was just a matter of time before one of us could 5K this. I had Edmonton, 400 kilometers somehow. I was a bit confused by that, but yeah, I found the other places, so yeah, eventually managed to almost 5K, and he didn't get there eventually. So yeah, it was going quite well in this moving game. Yeah, Germany again looking for the Landkreise. We had Gießen, which is more like a smaller size city. I mean, middle sized city maybe. And I found Lolar immediately, like the smaller town that we had on the town entry sign. So I thought that was like quite a fast find. So I just insta guessed once I kind of roughly had lined up, and that worked out enough to get the multiplier. But Finbarr actually managed to find the town last second. But yeah. Then Peru rounds. It was 2026 copyright, but I mean, it doesn't really help too much. I think it helps mostly for me at least to consider something other than Cusco, I guess, because yeah, I think if it was 25, I probably would have went Cusco on a round like this, but with 26, definitely not. I mean, definitely considering different things, I guess. But yeah, it did say La Chacui, so I mean, I knew that would be the town, but yeah, it's just difficult to know where you should scan. Um, yeah, eventually, I went a bit more north of Lima, and it was pretty much Lima, and he went more for like the Cusco and the Huaylas sedge. So yeah, this round was interesting actually. At first I thought it looked like France, like the pavement and all, but then I saw the infrastructure and on that, like the pole, definitely look US. So with the front blur, the deep spring coverage, that's quite common in Ohio actually. Like there's quite a lot of front blur coverage like this in Ohio. So yeah, I mean I kind of overcommitted a bit because I thought there was more towards Cleveland, but actually it was a bit more south. And somehow Finbarr plonked the 5K. Like I mean, I was a bit confused because like there was not really anything in this round, but I guess Ohio makes sense when it kind of looks yeah, hilly and looks kind of random. I guess it doesn't quite look like East Coast, but it's still quite hilly. So it's the idea. This road I kind of recognized immediately. I don't really know what to say, but just the coverage already. The sky is unique. It's sunset. It's a pretty big road. It's a lot of traffic and very straight road as well, and unique vegetation. So I did recognize that quite fast. The is it the N2? Yeah, N2 south of Eswatini. And Finbarr didn't really get the vibe there, and he went Port Elizabeth, I think, or East London. Don't really know, but that was a really big hit there, round two. And we had another Za, not really the kind of rounds I like. Like this was just like lining up Cape Mountains. Yeah, I'm not very good at that, to be honest. Yeah, here we had a Puerto Rico round, pretty boring. I mean, we had what it would take to 5K this round. Like we had pretty good info, and we could also, as you can see on Finbar's screen, you can kind of tell that Arecibo is probably gonna be west of us, because this sign, I mean, although it's going east, it looks like it's further than it's indicating further than the bridge. So it's like a road that's gonna go in a clover leaf and like go up on the freeway. So it's gonna be west, and yeah, it took me some time to realize that, but eventually I realized and managed to go more east. I mean, I'm just showing because yeah, okay, not really much to see, but yeah, that's the idea. Here we had long blurred antenna, kind of reddish, rocky soil, and Finbarr immediately knew the 5K as expected. We also had large hills here, these trees. Maybe I zoom into them again, but nope, I don't. But yeah, all these are good clues, I would say. Also, the lack of cabbage. I guess all of this combined is good clues for northern Sakhalin more so. Yeah, southern Sakhalin, by the way, has some unique spring coverage, which looks very, like, much more winterish. But yeah, most of Sakhalin is still summer coverage. And this round was kind of stupid. Like, I feel like we both made pretty bad guesses. So there's different things here. Here we actually have ball insulators, I think they're called, which are normally insulators that are very common in the northeastern states, like Pernambuco, Sergipe, Alagoas. I think it's those states, or maybe it's even more Paraiba, Argentine. But regardless, these states have them commonly. But this kind of arrangement where you have them like by free on this kind of thing is something you have a lot in Minas. So that's what I immediately thought, even though the landscape and like the fact we didn't have round poles was kind of weird. Usually there would be round poles in Minas when you have that arrangement. So yeah, I didn't really consider other things because I didn't think really that it looked like northeast. So yeah, I just went Minas and he went Recife, so quite a different guess, and it was actually Bahia. Don't think I've seen these poles too commonly in Bahia, but it does make sense that you can get them there. But yeah, the arrangement I don't think is something you have that commonly in the northeast of the country. It's mostly like a Minas thing, I think. But yeah, I will have to consult the Brazil poll documents to make sure. This round was a bit scary. Like we had stripe 24, I think, which I thought was quite a lot in South Carolina. So South Carolina and Alabama, I think, right? But it was actually basically Texas there, and Finbarr did say that he had a similar round one day, and he just thought about it immediately. So yeah, it was quite lucky for me to survive that round actually, because that was a big difference in guesses. Here we had Sarasota County, which honestly it's a place I thought there's good chances he wouldn't know or like would miss it somehow. I guess it just depends. Like you never really know. It's a sizable town, like a sizable city in southern Florida, but yeah, I was kind of annoyed because I thought I could have won. You know, if he goes like Orlando, for example, I could have won there. But yeah, that's why I overreacted a bit. I also overreacted because yeah, I lost the multiplier, but to be honest, that doesn't really matter. But apparently, I watched his video and he was like, he knew the place, but his map was just like zoomed in the wrong place. Like he already had his pin down, but for some reason the map was zoomed into West Palm Beach. I don't know why. So apparently I reacted over nothing because he already knew. Yeah, I don't know, kind of weird, but it's just like weird the way the mapping is, like our map looks like when it's broadcasted in the World League. Like it never looks like how we use it or like how it is for us, if you see what I mean. So yeah, pretty strange. Yeah, this is one of the worst kind of rounds for me. Like I just don't really know Namibia at all. I don't know kilometers. I don't really know what the roads look like. I don't know anything really. When it's mountainous, I just click somewhere near Windhoek and hope for the best. And here, yeah, I got lucky because I think Finbarr was like very north at first. So yeah. And then we had an Austria round. We had the front car visible here, which in Europe you only would have, like, you 90% of the time it would be Austria and Slovenia as well. And yeah, this just looks like Austria. The deep winter. I mean, it's not deep, but it is winter coverage. Like, yeah, quite common in the east, I think, in general. Although you can have it more west, but also just the landscape in general. Like, it was almost more rolling hills than deep mountains, you know. So I thought it could be closer to Wien and stuff, like more east. And also the dark wooden house like this didn't really remind me of. Yeah, this house didn't particularly remind me of Western Austria. Um, it almost looked more like, you know, the Czechia Germany border kind of architecture. I mean, you also have it in Austria, of course, but yeah, and that actually managed to win me the game. So yeah, I think I played this game quite nicely against Finbarr, even though he wasn't at his best, I think. But still, I played quite well in the moving and stuff. But yeah, that means I got 1 point, and it got me to 8 points. So with 8 points, I am quite low in like the contention for direct qualification to World Cup finals. But as you can see, it's only like a 2 point differential. Like people, yeah, having 10 points basically are in. So in my mind, I think that with 4 points, I can give myself good chances of qualifying still, because only like people at 11 points, Lenny and Bulgaria Enjoyer, can have higher points than me despite getting in losers bracket. So yeah, if I mean, it kind of sucks for me, but I would have to I would have to root against Manuelson and Kapten, and also Finbarr, Jamabi, Noxy Malfunction. So quite a lot of people to root against, but I do think it's possible that yeah, I can get 12 points and some other people can like because I mean, if yeah, there just has to be like 3 or 4 people out of these who get if there's 4 people out of all of these, so out of 8 people who get a winner's bracket, pretty much I'm out. So yeah, I mean, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough, but I do think it's possible mathematically that I qualify. But either way, I'm probably still gonna get my spot in the play-ins, and given what we've been told so far, it should be a good chance for me to qualify. Given that I've already been able to win a wildcard tournament before. I think this is probably going to be doable. So I'm still expecting to have a good chance of making my way to the World Cup, to the World Championship. But yeah, hopefully it's gonna be it's gonna be as a player and not as a spectator. That would be a bit unfortunate. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say, I think, for today. Yeah, I do feel a bit bad about how this whole thing turned out. But also another thing I didn't mention is that like the previous week, not the one I just reacted to, but the one before, I was quite busy. Like I was moving to a different side of France, like to for my internship. So yeah, it's just a lot of time I had to spend like dealing with all the things that you have to deal with when moving and starting something new. And I was also visiting a friend who lived like in a far away region of France that I don't really go to that often. So yeah, I just couldn't really focus too much on the game at that time, and of course then I couldn't manage to get a good result. It makes sense. Like it's very difficult to keep your level up when you don't play for like 1 week, for example, or 2 weeks. But yeah, I'm gonna give all I can in the next month and prepare myself as well as possible for both the last day of the World League and also for the play-ins. So yeah, hopefully I will eventually take a spot to the World Cup. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope this wasn't too long of a video and that you still enjoyed. And yeah, we'll see each other soon for some more content. Thanks for watching.